Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Nerdcast on the Angry Marks Podcast Network with your host, Will Huckaby and Mika Villas.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again. It's that time of the week. It's time for the Wrestling Nerdcast. As usual, this is a fan-listened, fan-supported, fan-sponsored podcast brought to you each and every week on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. So if you like what we do, if you like hearing me and Mika banter back and forth, then, go to our Patreon. Patreon.com, the Wrestling Nerdcast. As usual, we'll take the kind that jiggles, but we'd rather have the kind that folds. And we have a bunch of really cool prizes, including watching Mika stuff all the meat in her mouth. As usual, let's say thank you to our sponsors, Behavior Driven, Indie Customs, and Pro Wrestling World. Be sure to check each and every last one of them out on Facebook, on Instagram, social media. Use them. We love them. Thank you once again. I am your host, the World Wrestling Grand Prix champion, the disrespectful intellectual, the Mid-Atlantic bully, the reality TV star and national icon, the incredible Will Huckaby. As usual, I'm joined this week, like I am every week, by my co-host. She is one half of the world's cutest commentary team. She is the Office. She is the voice of the now renamed Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, Mucha Lucha Atlanta, and several other of your favorite independent wrestling companies. She is the lover of waffles. She's the voice of speech impediment. She's the Aphrodite of affection. She is Miss Chicago Win, Miss Hashtag What That Mouth Do, a.k.a. Bob Mia Taco, the lover of, Tibetan water blessed by Himalayan monks, and the receiver of all things unsolicited, the one, the only, Mika Villas. What up, Mika?
Hello, and happy day after Memorial Day. Hope everybody had a good holiday. I know it's a long weekend. It was a time to reflect upon those who gave their lives for our freedom. That's the meaning of the holiday. A lot of y'all just barbecued and hung out at the pool and got paid double time and a half. So whatever you did to celebrate, hopefully you're all rested, relaxed, and ready to talk about some wrestling.
Oh, and speaking about wrestling, this was a weekend amongst weekends. All the things going on in professional wrestling. Well, first of all, how was your weekend, Mika?
My weekend was actually pretty good. It wasn't, Vegas good, but a lot of my friends, people you know, were out in Vegas doing a thing and got to experience this crazy, crazy weekend through their eyes and sights and sounds. So while I was here in Georgia, kind of took a relaxed weekend, did not go to any shows, but kept up, of course, with all things that were happening in and around the area. Lots of good shows coming up in June to be on the lookout for. But yeah, I kind of rested. I relaxed. I worked, did the, as you kids say, the shoot job. And that was it. What did you do?
Well, let's see. I was up in New Jersey for Dog Wrestling, defending my World Wrestling Grand Prix title against Biggie Biggs. I actually got DQ'd for punching the referee.
Oh my God! Why would you do that?
I just got frustrated, Mika. The World Wrestling Grand Prix title is defended under the old traditional NWA rules, which is no over-the-top rope, no closed fists, et cetera, et cetera. I kept getting punched. There's only so many times you can punch a man in the face before he decides to punch you back. And the referee was just in my way, and I just got tired of him.
The ref didn't punch you in the face, so why'd you punch the ref? I mean, I would have punched you in the face if I was the ref, but that's a different story.
Because he stopped me from punching Biggie in the face. And I just got frustrated and tired of it, and so I punched the referee. I was like, whatever, the hell with it. Also, I seen the wrestler get maced. For
you
some reason,
that?
No, yes, I was there. It was, and for some reason, whenever I'm wrestling at this company, Dog, Dangerous Alliance of Wrestling Gladiators, there's always something crazy that happens right before my match. I don't know why. It just always happens.
They know you're coming and they lose their minds.
Maybe. I don't know. But this older black lady, the guy Chris Steeler, the wrestler Chris Steeler from out of New York, used to be the Warriors of Wrestling heavyweight champion, has been wrestling for 17 years. I've been in the ring with him and stuff. he had so much legitimate heel heat that the fan maced him. I guess he was talking junk to the fans. His little boy hit him, and so it turns out it was the woman's grandson. And so he went to go chastise the kid, let him know, like, hey, you don't put your hands on the wrestlers. And as soon as he went to go tell the kid, hey, don't do it, the grandmother got in his face, so he started jaw-jacking with the grandmother, like, hey, get your child under control. And she actually followed behind him to mace him.
Wow.
Yes.
So, she maced him from behind? Or did she spin him around like Stone Cold Stunner style? Turn around, kicked him and maced him?
Behind him. Well, yeah, like she was walking behind him, and I guess he just realized she was still behind him, so he turned around. And as soon as he turned around, there it was, mace in the face.
So this was a grandmother. What do you...
With blonde weave.
So it was a grandmother under 40 is what you're saying? Some ghetto grandma?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. That was... no disrespect to all the ghetto grandmas out there. But... But what do you do in this case where, like, this woman literally maced him? Did you guys, as a locker room, was everybody like, oh, I mean, because usually if a fan, like, interacts with a wrestler, if they cause them some kind of physical harm, you know, the boys will be the boys and y'all will handle that business. But this lady just maced him. What did y'all do? What happened?
She was actually allowed to stay.
Y'all were scared of her. She's gonna make somebody else if y'all got asked to leave? What? How is that possible?
I would have made her ass leave, but you know, Chris Stiller didn't want to press charges on the grandmother. He wanted her to stay because she was there with other family members, and he didn't feel like they should be punished for the grandmother. I feel like it's a bad precedent, but you know, it's not my choice, not my company, not my circus.
She apologized at least. The granny apologized.
No, she didn't apologize. Hell no.
So, is Granny allowed back?
I think so. Granny will be allowed back, I'm sure.
Wow. Let me just put it out there. Listen, guys. I understand that people still believe it's real and they're into it. That's great. But please, for your safety as well as the safety of the performers, do not touch or interact them as such. They will not hit you or strike you or do anything to you or your grandkids or what have you. But if you endanger their persons, by all means, like anybody else walking down the street, they're going to try to defend themselves. Granny was lucky because I think that had it been a guy, we'd be talking a whole different story. We'd be having stories about this dude got his butt kicked for macing somebody. So, even if you're a girl, be careful, because you can still catch them hands. I know some guys who don't care about hitting girls. Huckaby is one of them.
There sure is. I'd have punched grandma right in the damn face.
And that's why when I hit you, I'm going to run like hell. Just saying. Y'all see Huckaby chasing me, just somebody trip him, okay? That's all I ask. I need to get away.
Okay, I dare you to get in the way, whatever. Anyway, like I said before, so All Elite Wrestling had their second pay-per-view, their first one, their first actual show before they go to weekly TV and stuff. What did you think about the show, Mika?
Double or Nothing in Vegas. Okay. This was a show that had only one thing to do. Prove the naysayers wrong. People were just talking crazy. Look, it's a t-shirt company. You know, $50 is too much for a pay-per-view. But you got a hell of a match with Cody and Dustin, which you knew if you watched wrestling, if you understood just the history, the love, the family, just everything happening, that one match was worth $50 alone. You had Kip Sabian and Sammy Guevara. I always screw his name up. I mean, some up-and-coming names, people who you don't know. You had the...
Battle Royal was great.
Huh?
I thought the Battle Royal was great, actually.
The Battle Royal was great. You had MJF interacting with a legit Hall of Famer, Bret Hart. MJF, for those who don't know, is... screw the next big thing. He is a big thing. This kid is golden. He's great. microphone skills bar none. Jimmy Havoc, of course, my love, was there. And you got Omega and Jericho closing the show. Not only do they close the show with one of their classic matches, you have the surprise emergence of one John fucking, pardon my French, Moxley. John Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose, for those of y'all who did not know, his alter ego Mox showed up and just wreaked havoc, blew the roof off of the MGM Grand. This is an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, a small part of wrestling, a big part of wrestling, to watch this pay-per-view and to not enjoy yourself, to not find something that just captured your heart and your imagination, means that you are dead or you're not truly a wrestling fan. I'm going to say that you're probably dead, and I will stake you to death if you didn't like it. No.
Overall, I think they hit a home run. I think they hit a grand slam. There was something for everybody in this show. The women's match was great. Like I said, from the very get-go, I thought the Battle Royal was amazing. I thought they did a great job of setting up each and every match. I thought they did a great, with the whole Being the Elite series on YouTube. I thought they did a great job of setting up this show, of building anticipation for all these matches. As much as everybody says, like, hey, Omega and Jericho was a great match, I feel like the match of the night was the Rhodes brothers, like, hands down. And then say what you want to about Cody Rhodes when it comes to his promos and stuff. Kudos to Cody Rhodes. I'm going to give him a clap because I loved his promo, which was so reminiscent of the promo that Dusty Rhodes did with Dustin when they were in WCW. When Dusty was like, hey, I just want a hug. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was such a great tribute, or whatever you want to call it, to that promo between father and son, to see the two brothers have that moment in the ring and stuff, and now they're tag team partner, be teaming up against the Young Bucks. I thought that was great. But something else I want to talk about before we bring our guest on, which is probably my favorite part of wrestling right now, is the WWE 24/7 title. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Damn it. I love the concept of the 24/7 title. I love the fact that R-Truth has the 24/7 title. Like, the dude between him and
had past tense had.
He dropped it tonight?
Yes, to Elias.
Oh! Thanks for spoiling it for me, CW.
Because we're not watching SmackDown Live as we're doing this show, we did not know that R-Truth was no longer the 24/7 champion. It's a sad time. Everybody say a prayer, thoughts and prayers to R-Truth and the, loss of the 24/7 title.
Thanks, CW. You're horrible. You know what? I don't even want to talk about it no more. Thanks, CW.
I just want to say one thing about it, though.
What?
I do like that Truth was running around with Carmella on his back. I just thought that was the most ridiculous.
The best part was, did you see his video where he was like, he remade the
Horses in the Back, Old Town Road. Yeah,
Old Town Road song. Oh my God, this shit was so great. But yeah, speaking of spoilers, tonight's guest, Mika, we have a very special guest on the line. He is a tag team champion. He is a member of the Syndicate. He is one half of the best tag team champions, Grit. Let me make sure I pronounce it right, not say grits. Grit. He has traveled up and down the East Coast with his tag team partners, with his Syndicate brethren. And, from what I've heard, he has a pretty awesome, finish that may or may not have been, you may or may not have seen before in other shows. But that's neither here nor there. He's a good friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, TJ Boss. What's up, TJ?
What's up, guys? Y'all doing all right?
We're doing great, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm feeling great. The introduction you gave Mika is, I can give that better than Chip Day and Chip Day.
Damn.
Oh, well, I'm gonna assume that's a compliment,
It It was. I heard it. I heard it. He basically was saying that, Chip Day's got a lot of, names and interests, but the way you introduce mine and mine are better.
Oh, yes.
That's right. I'm better than Chip Day. I said it.
I'm just saying, look, when I get done, as a professional wrestler, I might just go around just giving people their own personal ring introductions.
So you have a voice. You have a voice for radio. It's amazing.
You got a face for radio too.
So let's go ahead and get to the interview. First of all, boss, how long have you been in the business, man?
Shoot, I've been wrestling since 2009, man, and a lot of people don't know that. Started in a very small promotion in Lawrence, South Carolina. Was trained by a guy by the name of Joshua Chilton and the Desperado Paul Helms. Started doing a couple little shows in the Spartanburg area, just a couple little things in South Carolina, and got the word that the only way you can get your name out is by traveling, and about 3 or 4 years now, just been getting in the car and hitting these towns, man. So.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had been wrestling that long. I first met you about 3 years ago at the PWX show. But I saw you, and you had, of course, you're a big guy, and you have a presence about you. And I saw you, and I was like, man, this guy's really good. Like, he kind of reminds me of myself and stuff, but he still has his own idiosyncrasies. When that show I saw you at PWX, that like one of your first times actually traveling outside of South Carolina?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, you breaking up.
I said, I don't know if you remember the first time I met you at PWX. But was that one of your first actual times traveling outside of South Carolina?
No, I did a couple shows in North Carolina and maybe one show in Georgia back when they had APW in Georgia. I did a couple shows there. But PWX was probably one of the big stages where I felt like the competition was a whole lot better than I was, and I was excited to be able to wrestle new people and just try to get my name out there, so that way when I went to these other promotions, I could hang with a lot of the other guys that was doing the same thing they were doing at PWX.
So you said you trained in a small town in South Carolina. Now you've been traveling up and down the East Coast and stuff, man. So do you prefer to be because I only know you as a tag team wrestler, really. I've only seen you in tag team wrestling. Do you prefer to be a tag team wrestler or a singles wrestler?
Well, I prefer either or. I just love to wrestle. For about 5 or 6 years, I did a lot of singles, and as I was coming along in PWX and stuff, they wanted me to do some tag stuff, which to me I thought, okay, tag wrestling, that'll be a way to get my foot in the door and just showcase what I can do. But I think I found a new love for tag wrestling. It's a whole lot. It's a lot more thinking when it comes to putting together tag team matches than just putting together a singles match. Because it's just you, the ref, and one other person compared to 5 or 6 other people. Being in a regular tag match, a 6-man tag, or an 8-man tag. Just being able to pick and choose your spots and stuff, and just trying to make everything to make sense. Especially after when I got hurt, it was probably one of the best things to be able to do more tags, so that way I ain't putting too much toll on my body, and I can just do what I got to do and just have fun with it.
Well, speaking of somebody who does a lot of things to their body and stuff, whether or not they're having fun is left to be, determined. I'm gonna pass it over to my co-host Mika. Mika, what do you have for our guest tonight?
Wow. First of all, I hate you. Secondly, boss, let's talk. You brought up your injury.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who were not there live, like myself, who are traumatized and saw it, tell us how this injury, and you know which one I'm talking about. Tell us how it happened.
All right, well, just let me go ahead and get this out of the way. When you're in a match with Rob Killjoy, a lot of people think that Rob Killjoy caused a lot of things. Well, Rob Killjoy did not cause the spot. This was all me, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. To be honest with you, that was a night where I knew that it was going to be so many great matches on that card. You had X16, and we was main eventing night one, and I think that was a show Juice Robinson was on.
Yep.
So being a main event, especially being a tag title match, and especially being pretty much a TLC match, and I've always been a big fan of TLC matches. Just something crazy going along. I had the spot thought up in my head for like months as soon as I knew that we was gonna lead into that match. There's some things that I probably could have done different. There's one big thing I could have done different, but being silly TJ, I didn't even think about it until it happened. But climbing that ladder, knowing what was about to happen, it was real crazy because, like, if you can look back at the match, you can actually see me just like staring down these tables when I know I ain't supposed to. I'm supposed to be looking to get the belts, but I'm just sitting there staring at these tables. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is it. Here's a spot. Let's hope for the best. As soon as it happened and it started to tilt, I was trying to figure out what would be the best way to land. And about the time I got a solution, I was already heading down. And as soon as I hit, it knocked the breath out of me. So at first I was like, oh God, I can't breathe. And Tommy Thomas and Zuka King was there at the show, and they both came and checked on me. They was like, hey dude, you okay? And I was just like, I can't breathe. And Tommy is just yelling at me, hey, breathe. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say the N-word on the podcast.
No, you're fine.
But
you're fine. We've had Rip Rogers on the show, so if you gotta curse him, by all means, go ahead.
You think we actually have a rating? What?
But so I'm laying there, I'm thinking that I'm selling just a little bit of pain at the moment, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, well, I'm just gonna lay here, and when the match is over, I'll get up and I'll walk to the back. Well, ding ding, Ducks win, and they making their way out, and it's like 3 or 4 guys trying to help me up, and I feel a sharp pain on my left side, and I'm like, oh snap, like it's kind of hard for me to get up. So I finally get up and I get carried to the back, and I lay down, and it's just a lot of pain just shooting in my legs and stuff from where I landed. And I'm like, okay, well, I just landed on the freaking floor. So, God knows how high in the air I was. But, I just something I can, put some dirt on and rub off. And then come to find out, when I tried to get up to go get dressed, the pain was just so bad that I couldn't do anything. Like I had sleeves had to put on my underwear. Like that's how bad a shape I was. And I think Mika, you was there when I couldn't even walk, and I had to get rolled out in a computer chair because they didn't have a wheelchair at the venue.
Yeah.
And go to the emergency room, and they doped me up with all type of stuff. And about the next day, I went and got X-rays and everything, and it showed that I had a fractured hairline, fractured pelvis, hairline fractured pelvis, and I messed up my spine pretty good. So I have 2 bulging discs, my L4 and L5. So.
Good golly.
Yep. So that was my story. If you asked me if I would do it again, I would think about it and make sure that it would have been a lot safer. But the way the match was, I really enjoyed it. It was one of the funnest matches I've been in. Just the chaos and everything, and the chemistry that we had with the Ducks, and the chemistry that I had with Timmy when me and him teamed up. It was just fantastic. So it was something that everybody remembers. I hate I got hurt, but it was something that everybody remembered. So.
Yeah. You say that you would think about it. Now, I was there that night, and I don't think we were as close then as we are now. I think we got closer that night because I was part of the triage team trying to get you to the car.
Yeah.
But you have a significant other, and she's with you like a lot at these shows and what have you. Now, had you talked to her before about this spot that you were going to do, or was this like a surprise? I'm going to jump off a ladder.
Well, with her, I try, if it's something really big, I try to, let her know so that way, she's not, because, I ain't going to, be Mr. He-Man, but, you know how sometimes women get. So, like, especially if it's somebody that they care about, nobody wants to see anybody get hurt, especially their loved ones. So, I told her about it. I even showed her the TLC match from WrestleMania 17 with the Dudleys, Hardys, and Edge and Christian. And I told her, I said, she was worried about it for weeks, and I told her, I said, I'll be fine. And even after I went through the tables, I told somebody to go tell her immediately that, hey, I was fine. So, because I just didn't want her, crying or anything like that, even though, I was in so much pain. So.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, because the next time that you were out in a match, I want to say it was somewhere in Fest and there was a ladder involved, I was putting my card down like, no, don't you get on that ladder, boy. You're done.
Well, I mean, we had a ladder match for Fest. I think it was probably the first match for Fest we had, and it was a ladder match. And as soon as we got the match announcement, I told her, I said, hey, we got a match announcement for Fest. And she's like, oh, yeah, what kind of match? And I was like, it's a ladder match. And, like, the look on her face she gave me, like, if she had, like, Cyclops super power, like, she probably would have melted my face off. Like, it was really bad. But I told her, I said, anything that I do, it'll be in the ring. I promise you. Don't worry. I won't do nothing like that. I'll give you my word. So it's more of I give you my word. I won't do nothing stupid anymore.
Mika,
give me the okay.
Yeah.
Mika, wasn't that the Fest show that we went to?
Yes, it was.
If I say yes,
Yeah.
I do remember that spot because it was like we saw him climbing up, we saw the ladder, and we saw him like grab it, and we're like, "Are you really about to get on that ladder again?" And then you kind of look at the crowd, kind of like like winky face, like, you think I'm that stupid to do this again? Not today, devil, not today. And then he just like pushed the ladder over, like, nope, not messing with it today.
I mean,
yeah, man,
that's crazy. Now, there's only certain times I wanted to jump in the ring, and that was when I'm like, no, you're going to get your ass down. Like, you're not doing this today, not while I'm standing here again.
Well, being a big guy in the business, and I think Huckaby can kind of back me up on this. When I'm in there, I try to be as different as I can, and it's kind of hard, especially being in the Carolinas. You got your big guys, and everybody's unique in their own way. And I don't want the name TJ Boss to be compared to somebody else. I want to be my first somebody. You know what I mean? I just want to go out there, have a good time, but I want to be remembered. Somebody can be like, oh snap, that's TJ Boss. That's the big guy that did the swanton off the top rope. I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? So I try my best to try to be different and just to leave the fans, with my name in their mouth and talking good about me instead of being like, oh well, dang, that big boy, that match really sucked. You know what I mean?
Now, let me ask you a question, TJ. Because, like I said, we have a lot of similarities when it comes to our styles in the ring. And there are a lot of things where we differ and stuff. But I've always wanted to know, who are some of your influences when it comes to professional wrestling? And when you were a kid, who was your favorite wrestler?
Well, you're gonna laugh at me about this, but I was a very big fan of the Nation of Domination. Later on in Mark Henry's career, I really enjoyed watching his work. I've never seen him being a big guy and that aggression, because it was always sexual chocolate or good guy Mark Henry. Bam Bam Bigelow is a guy that I've been studying a lot and trying to see the things that he done different back in the ECW days and stuff. And I'm a very big Ron Simmons fan. Ron Simmons done a lot for the African American wrestling society. So seeing him and what he done, old school stuff that he's done, it really motivated me to become a wrestler.
Well, I can't talk bad about you, man. I'm a huge Coco Beware fan, okay?
Say it again.
I said I can't talk bad about who you like, man, because I'm a huge Coco Beware fan.
Well, I mean, I as a fan, the art of wrestling has changed so much. That's why I just try to take bits and pieces from those guys' match that I just mentioned, just to kind of put my own little swagger to it and just kind of make it my own. So that way, I can just be different and unique. You know what I mean?
Now, let me ask you a question, because you've been in the business a little bit, about 3 years less than I, but I feel like we came into business right around the same time. Because nowadays everybody's talking about this whole bullying people in the ring and shooting on somebody in the ring and stuff. What is your thoughts when it comes to being rough with guys in the ring and stuff? And do you think that still serves a purpose? If somebody blows a spot in the ring, you give them a really stiff shot or whatever, and you go back to working, do you think that still has a spot in this business?
Yes and no. The reason why I say that is because I've done it before, and especially you try your hardest to not get frustrated with the other person, because if you get stuck in there with someone that don't know what they're doing, I mean, it is what it is. We're there to entertain the fans. That's what they pay money to see. If they pay money to go see a UFC fight, then then that's what they're gonna do. But they want to see some wrestling. When it boils down to it, if I'm in there with somebody that messes up, and I've done it plenty of times, the first thing I'm gonna do is just make sure that we can get back to where we need to be. You know what I mean? One thing that I've really tried doing these past couple of years is, if we're in a situation, what can we do to fix it? Perfect example. we did the tag match with the Dust, me and Montana for the Fest tag titles, and me and Rob does a spot where he does a springboard moonsault, and I catch him every single time. Either I'm hitting him with a running power slam or turn him around and he hits me with a DDT. We've done that spot 1,000 times, but we didn't. He hit me with it, and I was back too far, and I didn't catch him. And so I was like, oh, snap. But instead of being like, oh, we messed up, I just sold it. And then Coach Mikey, which is probably one of the best managers around right now, he was just sitting there yelling, do it again, do it again. And I'm just like, okay, if he's going to do it again, then I know I'll catch him this time. And so he did it again. I called him, turned around, into a DDT.
There's a difference from the example you're giving and the examples, that's been seen on social media where, you call a spot, you're like, hey, kid, lock up, headlock, the whole gear again. I like to call it the George stop spot, headlock, shoulder tackle, drop down, hip toss, back to the headlock. Somebody messes that spot up and you say, hey, you go for the hip toss and they go for an arm drag or something. And now you look like an idiot. Now the spot's completely ruined. Everybody knows it's a box spot. And you give the kid a spot. You give the kid a stiff forearm or whatever, and get him back in the headlock. That's the situation that I'm talking about. How do you feel about it when it comes to situations like that?
Oh, well, when it comes to situations like that, man, I mean, it's an old school mentality, but it's something that still needs to be done every now and then. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta, because I mean, that's how else are they going to learn? You know what I mean?
Mika's over here shaking her head about it.
Yeah.
I'm maybe just a little sensitive. Now I understand that if somebody's disrespectful and they're just kind of idiotic about things, and you know it, and you get them out there, and they're still kind of idiotic, then you're like, okay, let me do a little tough love. So I get it, but also don't take bumps. So y'all do what y'all gonna do. Just don't kill each other. That's all,
Yeah, and there's no need to sit there and there's no need to sit there and throw somebody down the ground and give them like Brock Lesnar, hammer fist. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with, getting a little top like, hey, get your head in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, and I feel like, that wrestling, even though it's entertainment, it's still a simulated combat sport. And so therefore, I'm a huge proponent that wrestlers need to look like wrestlers. And even if you're a small guy, you still need to look like if somebody got in a fight with you at the bar, that you would jab somebody's eye out. Like, even if you're a small 160-pound guy, you still need to have that danger. What do you think? What do you think, boss?
Oh, sorry, guys. I was getting food for the kids and the wife, but yeah, family man stuff. But say that one more time for me, and we'll go back to it.
He's saying basically,
Jacob Ron should know how to take care of himself in the fight. And I do believe that professional wrestlers, even though this is entertainment, that we're still athletes, this is still a combat sport, we should still know how to take care of ourselves. Even if you're a smaller guy, such as a Jacob Ryan, you should still have that air about you that, hey, if we get into a fight, I may be tempted to pull your eye out.
Well, and Jacob Ryan is a real good friend of mine. I've known Jacob for a couple years now. I hate that happened to him. You don't ever want to see that happen to anyone. But as I watched the video and the guy cut the promo, he told you what he was going to do. If I was in that situation, it was only two options that, were going through my head. Either I'm going to get out this ring and go to the back, and then we talk about this like men in the back, or as soon as I knew something, you was gonna get, physical, then I'm gonna have to do what I got to do as man, and I'm gonna have to throw hands with you. Huck, me and you've talked about this a couple times in the West Virginia locker room, and I'm that same mentality. I got to protect myself at all costs. If you're not gonna do it, then I gotta protect myself.
Exactly. I feel like at the very least, Jacob Ryan should kick them in the nuts.
most definitely, and like, see, and like things like that, and like I think about you because I know you, and I've heard your horror stories. Like, I don't think that man would have made it out alive. You know what I mean? And like that's not blowing smoke up your ass, but with the things that you've told me and the things that you've done, I'm sitting here like, that was her. My man might have got shot. He might not even made it back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it. He would have made it stop by the AMTs. Yeah, they definitely would call AMTs.
So I mean, when it comes down to it, we all grown men, and if you got a problem with me and you want to wait to try to solve it in the ring and try to embarrass me, then what that wrestling stuff goes out the window. Like, if you want to throw hands, we want to throw hands. Now, if you mess around and whoop my ass, then we still gonna have some more problems because you just say, "Hey, whoop my ass in front of all these people." I ain't gonna let that slide. You know what I mean? So nah, bro. Like, you could if you was a dad, if you was a concerned dad, then you should have pulled Jacob Brown to the side and told him, "Hey, look, what you done to my son, I didn't like that. Can you please explain to me what happened?" Because as soon as his son stepped in the ring and agreed to that spot, he's a worker. You know what I mean? I don't even know if y'all even know the backstory to that, but the information that I gathered was that his son wasn't even fully trained. Like, I think he was in the process of training with I think he was training with George South.
Yes.
So
I heard that too. That son's currently training with George South. Yes.
Yeah. So if you don't even know how to correctly bump, who's really at fault for that? You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think that sets a bad. I think it sets a bad example. I also think that unfortunately his son is going to have to deal with that when he gets in the ring, because now guys will be like, "Oh, if something happens, you're just going to call your dad."
Exactly. And then the thing about it is, if you at a show, say for example, say if he over in the West Coast in California, and somebody hears about that, and then they in the ring with him, and they mess around and tell him that your daddy can't save you now, then what? Now you put yourself in a whole different situation.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to pass it back to Mika real quick, because we can talk about this all day, but I know Mika has other questions for you. So, Mika, what do you have for TJ?
I'm going to go light and fluffy because y'all just went all a little dark and hardcore there, this discipline and all this other stuff. What does the T and the J stand for? I don't know. I mean, like, a boss is, boss is boss, but what is the T and the J?
So, you were friends with me on Facebook, so the T stands for Tevin, and the J is my middle name.
We're not gonna say the middle name. We like that.
It's been Toe Jam, but whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't do the middle name too much, but yeah, that's what the TJ stand for. I've been called TJ for years, so it was gonna be a TJ Boss or TJ Law, and I don't think Law was gonna go too well, so I just went with Boss.
Oh, okay. I was just like, I don't know what the T and the J stand for. So you've had a host of different tag team partners. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Who is your favorite tag team partner?
Ooh.
I did
okay.
that. I did that.
Okay. Hmm. And the thing about it is, both of them going to listen. But I can do this right now then. Okay, so right now my favorite tag team partner is Montana Black, and the reason why I say that is because we're two big guys and we're two intimidating guys. Um, he's the yin to my yang, no homo. We really have a lot of great chemistry together, and the more we tag together, the more we just get better and better as a tag team. Zuka is a fantastic tag partner, very old school mentality, and which I like because I'll think of something crazy and be like, why do all this when you just hitting that? You know what I mean? So he kind of levels me out instead of doing all the crazy stuff. But I love teaming with Zuka, but I'm teaming with Montana more now. So I really enjoy teaming with Montana.
All right. So I put you on the spot and had you pick your partner. Tell me, how did you guys come up with the name Grit?
So speaking again about Fest, Fest was probably one of the shows where I was just coming back from my injury, and they told us that we needed a tag name because they didn't want to try to bring the syndicate in. They just wanted me and Montana. And so before the show even started, me, him, and Tommy were just sitting there and just pondering of what we can come up with. And Lord and behold, Mr. Timmy Lou Retton was like, how about God's Remembering Time, Grit? And when I first heard it, I was like, I don't know, because like, I don't want nobody saying like grits or anything like girls raised in the South or anything like that. And Montana was like, nah, man, God's Remembering Time, Grit, it'll be badass. And I was like, I don't know, like I just don't think like with two big black niggas, it's like Grit. And he was like, nah, man, it'll work. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you do that, but I'm picking the theme song. He was like, all right, cool. So we just kind of just roll with that. So Timmy Lou gets the credit for the creation of Grit.
But you picked that bomb theme song, right?
Oh yeah, it's the game featuring Tyler the Creator, Martians vs. Goblins, the instrumental version.
Mm-hmm.
So
now we got your favorite partner. We talked about your team. Let's talk about you talked about that tag match, that ladder match in PWX being one of your favorite matches. Who's one of your favorite opponents?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. To be honest with you, my favorite opponent is Jim Nasty. Timmy Lou and White Mike are a fantastic tag team. When it comes down to the serious part, Timmy is, fantastic compared to the comedy of White Mike. But when it's time for White Mike to be serious, White Mike is a hard-hitting son of a bitch. The matches that we've had, I think our first match we worked those guys was PWX versus Fest, Too Close for Comfort, and we rarely even called anything, just a couple spots in the finish, and went out there and had a fantastic match. And then the matches we had for Fest, we did one the December before their Love Cup show, and we had a fantastic match. Me and Timmy did a Spanish fly off the top. The reason why we did that, I have no idea, but we did it. And And then the Love Cup match where we had the Jim Nasty Boys and the Carnies. That match was probably one of my top matches up there as a tag team. But just working with those guys, I've worked with Timmy Lou a lot and got a chance to work with White Mike. And then, too, you always going to get a good laugh in the match. Like, we did something where we knocked out White Mike, and me and Montana went to go shoot Timmy off. And we backed Timmy into the corner, and Timmy sitting there like, we fucking got him. And so I'm sitting here trying to be serious, but I'm like, why would you say that at this time when you know it's people watching? So I love working those guys. It's always fun. It's a nice, tight match that I love working, and it's just entertaining. Like, we always just bring the best out of one another.
That's awesome. Now, let me kind of go back. We talked, and I don't know if you remember this conversation. We just talked a while back. I think we were in Viral Pro, and you said that you didn't know how much longer you had to be in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was just talk of the night, or were you serious? How much longer do you see yourself out here doing this?
The way things are going right now, I don't know. Being a dad of 4 and being a husband of 4 girls, it gets a little tough. My youngest just turned 9, and she came to me and she was like, "Hey, Daddy, I want to be a wrestler." And I'm saying her like, "No, please don't do this, because it's just so much." But just seeing them grow up, my 13-year-old made the cheerleading team, and so she can be doing Friday night football games and stuff. And it's those moments that you want to see. You want to see them grow up and all that stuff, and you don't want to be 50-something years old and your grandbabies, running around and you can't even chase after them. I love the sport of wrestling, and wrestling has been so good to me these past couple of years, and getting my name out there. I don't know when. I'm gonna keep on going till my body lets me. But when my body tells me, "Hey, bro, it's about time for you to pack it up," then I'm just gonna walk off in the sunset with my head held high, just knowing that I gave it all I got, and that's pretty much it.
Well, when you go, I prefer you to take Will Huckaby with you, if at all possible. I'm going to let him talk back to you now. Because he won't ever leave. He literally is going to have to get shown the door. So.
Oh, with Huck's new gear, Huck ain't going nowhere for a very long time.
Exactly.
I'm like Terry Funk. I'm gonna be the wrestler that never retires, man. What you talking about? 6 years old doing moonsaults. What's wrong with y'all? I want to keep it the same vein of questions that Mika's been asking you and stuff. Because you say you're a father of 4 girls, you're a husband and stuff. What does TJ Balls do when he's not in wrestling gear? What are some of the things you like to enjoy to do outside of professional wrestling?
Oh, well, that's pretty simple. It's summertime, and I got a friend of mine that kid is wanting to play football. So, I try to do couple things with football, help a little bit with coaching. We pretty much just chill, man. I'm a big Madden fanatic, so I'm on Madden a lot. I'm pretty.
PlayStation or Xbox?
Oh, PlayStation.
Okay, we're done talking to you now. Goodbye. No.
I'm just chill, laid back, man. I try to spend as much time with my family as possible. A lot of like this past weekend, I had one show, so I just had I had Saturday and Sunday off, and I took the kids. We went to a trampoline park, and stuff like that. Just having nice quality family time. So, I'm just pretty much keeping myself, man, and, just enjoying life in general.
Now, you're one of the very lucky guys and stuff. And I consider myself lucky as well, where your significant other is very supportive. A lot of times when you're at a show, that when somebody's at a show, they see you, they see your wife. Has there ever been times, I guess, because I know my wife does it at times, where she'll watch your matches and she's like, hey, baby, you should do this instead?
Well, I say my wife is she's very supportive. We've actually met at a wrestling show, so she's been down since day one. This is actually my second marriage. So my first marriage, she wasn't into it at all. So a lot of these road trips and stuff, I was driving by myself and all that. But she's very supportive. She does give me a lot of pointers where she's getting to the point where she can catch things that I do that she's like, that didn't really make no sense and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I see what you're talking about. There's been plenty of times where I've written down a playbook of what I wanted to do in the ring, and she's like, that would be cool. That probably wouldn't be cool, stuff like that. She really hasn't been like, hey, I seen something that you should do or anything like that. She just kind of lets me be me. You know what I mean?
I think maybe you should listen to her more often, man, because you being you is not working out that well.
Oh man, don't let her hear you say that, because then I end up having to listen to her holler about how right she is and all that stuff.
Oh well, make sure I tell her next time I see her. But I just want to all the time. Now, I know our time with you is running down, but I want to ask one or two more quick questions. Once you get done in ring performing and stuff, are you just going to walk away into the sunset, or do you think that you'll always have something to do with professional wrestling?
It depends, Huck. Like I said, with the football thing, I'm a real big football head. When it's football season, it's football season. You know me, I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. And, I played football for about 7-8 years with, junior high school. I had 2 offers, one from Coastal Carolina and one from Wofford to play. But, I really wanted to try this whole wrestling thing. I would, if I wasn't able to get signed by anybody and, it was just time for me to hang it up, then I wouldn't have any regrets. I probably would just walk off in the sunset, probably do like one final, kind of farewell thing where, I can just try to go to places I've never been and, just do it for that one last ride. And, when it was all said and done, just be able to know that I gave it my all, and probably just go into something, coaching wise. I live in Greenwood right now, and they have a lot of football programs going on and stuff that, I wouldn't mind being interested in, and, just kind of staying busy and stuff, you know what I mean? When it comes to the weekend, it's wrestling for us. So, I don't think I will be able to just sit at home on the weekends and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to stay home. I got to have something to do. So.
Now, here's my last question, because you said your youngest daughter really wants to, she said, Daddy, I want to be a wrestler. If she really wanted to get into wrestling and stuff, whose wrestling school would you send her to?
If I was able to send her, there's 2 options. Either I will send her to George South School, or I will send her to Bob Keller's little training school that he does in Columbia, South Carolina. Bob Keller is a is a great mentor to me. He's really helped me get to where I am today. Even when I was at my lowest and was ready to quit, he, motivated me to get to where I am today. He's a big reason why, I tried PWX and stuff like that. So, and George South is freaking George South. The list of people that he's, sent off and they've been on to do bigger and better things. I wish I would have known about those guys when I first started, and they don't tell me where I would have been at right now. So, if she really wanted to do it, those would be the two destinations.
All right. Well, TJ, it's time for us to wind this down and stuff. So we do this thing here at the Wrestling Nerdcast. We have to ask you 3 questions, and depending on your answers, depends on if we like you enough to ask you to come back. All right.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1: Sheets or Wawa?
Oh, Sheets.
Man, Mika, we almost end the interview right now, Mika.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
I almost said cut them off right now, CW. All right, question number 2: IHOP or Waffle House?
IHOP.
What? I'm so disturbed. Question number 3.
So audience agrees, just so you know. It's fine. Keep going.
Question number 3: What's your guilty pleasure song, man?
Yeah. Maroon 5. What's the name of that dang song? It's
Moves Like Jack.
Song. It's a Maroon 5 song, but yeah.
Maroon 5?
Was the Moves Like Jagger?
Sing a little bit
No.
of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, sing some of it.
Who's that girl? No, it is Move Like, Jack, that song. Yeah.
Moves Like Jagger?
Yeah.
Moves Like Jagger, okay. All right.
Okay. How's that his guilty pleasure song? He doesn't even know the name of it, damn it. I think he's messing with us, Mika.
Nah, I ain't meant like, if my girls know every word to that song, so when it comes on, we turn it up. Like, I even bought the CD for it. So.
I didn't say her favorite guilty pleasure song. I said your favorite guilty pleasure song.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I love that song.
He sings along. He
so
has Moves Like Jagger in the car. I can see it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. As soon as I get a chance and we're all in the car, I will definitely send you a video to prove to you that that's my guilty pleasure song.
Please do.
All right,
Please do.
Deal. And we will post it all over social media. But anyway, TJ, this is the part of the show where we ask you to get your shit in, man, to make all of our fans and listeners of yours. So, give out your social media and any upcoming shows where you'll be at, man.
Well, you can follow me on Facebook under TJ Boss 77, Instagram and Twitter at TJ Boss 77. This coming week, I have 3 shows: WVCW June 1st, 2 shows June 2nd, PWX at the Rooftop, and MCW in Columbia, South Carolina. June 7th and June 8th, I will be in Georgia both days for One Fall on the 7th and GPW on the 8th. We got some TJ Boss merch coming soon. The Big Man on Campus shirts will be coming soon. Hopefully within less than a month, they should be coming in. And you can get your We Deserve It shirts. Just hit up me, Montana Black, or Tommy Thomas. And your Grit shirts, you can hit up those same people.
All right. Well, thank you, TJ, for being the guest of the show, man. I will see you Saturday, all right?
All right, brother, man. I'll see you, man. Bye, Mika.
Bye, TJ.
See y'all.
Bye. Mika!
Yes.
DJ Boss. Big man on campus.
Boss. I like Boss. First time I met Boss, I will be 100% honest, I was a little intimidated. He looked mean. He looked like angry, like he would just kill everything and everybody. But he is absolutely funny. He's adorable. He's nice. That's to me. I don't have to be in a ring with him where he can kick ass, and he does kick ass in the ring. So I actually have a TJ Boss autograph here. I cannot read to you the inscription because it is inappropriate.
Why do you have a TJ Boss autograph, but not like a Will Huckaby autograph?
I only take valuable autographs, not trash.
Wow, that hurts. That hurts so bad. Wow.
You got feelings? Nope.
You know what? Anyway, what you got going on this weekend, Mika?
Oh my gosh, this weekend, Georgia wrestling is taking off. June is a crazy, crazy month. This weekend, I know that there is Southern Fried Wrestling happening. Big, huge show for them. That's happening, and I'm probably gonna make an appearance. You know how I do. I just kind of roll in, roll out. TJ mentioned One Fall that's happening this Friday. That is in the Atlanta area as well. I may pop in a little bit there, see what's going on. We have, what's that thing called? Southern Honors coming up later, you know. I may, I don't know. I don't think I'll have 1,000 people there again. I like my space. We'll see. You know, it's a lot of stuff happening. What about you?
Let's see. I'll be in West Virginia all this weekend, so it's just all the things going on in West Virginia. Friday I'm in Princeton, West Virginia. Saturday I'm in Bluefield, West Virginia. Both of those are for West Virginia Championship Wrestling. So follow me on social media. I'm actually going to go check out the Southern Honor show next Friday because that's the return of Joe Black versus. And he's wrestling Owen Knight. So I'm going to go check that out. Let's see, there's so many things going on in June. Like you said, Tennessee. Wow.
Wrestling everywhere. I mean, summer, it's hot outside, y'all. It's 90-plus degrees. But trust me when I tell you that when you get to these shows, you're going to forget about the heat and then just enjoy yourself.
Roanoke, Alabama.
Ooh.
I'll be in Alabama.
Yeah, Roanoke, Alabama. That is Wrestling United, right?
Yes, I will be there for Wrestling United. Man, just so many things going on. I know somebody
goes there.
Oh, you're the office there. That's right. Jesus.
Jesus.
Anyway, before we get out of here, I was going to definitely mention, be on the lookout. Just heard breaking news flash, people. Breaking news flash on this podcast. If you haven't seen it on social media yet, there's supposedly another pedophile when it comes to professional wrestling.
We're going to say allegedly because we have only heard this.
Yes, we're saying alleged.
Yeah, so, again, it is a dark and sad time in wrestling when these people take advantage.
It's like Selena just, we were talking about, before we came on there, I was talking to Selena. It's like, dear professional wrestlers and people involved in professional wrestling, stop fucking little kids, please.
I mean, it's not a hard request. It's pretty simple. Don't put shit to children. That's, I don't know, should be rule number one.
I don't think it's too hard to do. It's like, stop raping people, stop touching little kids. There you go.
And listen, if you're hearing this and you find it difficult to stop raping people and to stop touching children, please, by all means, see myself, see Huckaby, see CW. I'm sure we'll be more than happy to help you out.
Yes. We can help you out. We'll find you the avenues necessary to get you the help that you need.
Mm-hmm. castration, full-on castration with a rusty blade.
I wasn't gonna go there, but I was talking about psychiatric help.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, this is easier. It's simpler. It'll save you a whole lot of money. Trust me. I got you.
Electroshock is fun.
Okay. The word is still out, and just for all our listeners and fans and stuff, we haven't forgotten, ladies and gentlemen. We're still trying to get certain people on the show to talk about certain situations that's happening in professional wrestling. For anybody who's listening to this show, if you're involved in the wrestling business, please, when we send you an invite to come to our show, to be a guest in the show, we're not inviting you up here for sensationalism. We're not inviting you up here so we can hijack you or whatever. We want to hear your side of the story. We are, what's the word, Mika?
We're wrestling journalists. And
we are
honestly,
wrestling journalists.
We take this serious. So, again, if you do have an invite for us and you're feeling some trepidation, by all rights and means, do not. We're willing to give you the forum to speak, to say what you have to say. And that's going to be as fair an offer, I think, as you're going to get from anybody doing any sort of wrestling podcast, because a lot of them are looking to sensationalize and to gain their own notoriety based off of your situation. That's not what we're here for. We like the truth, and we like to give people the chance to speak their truth, whatever that truth may be. So, again, I can understand people being fearful, and even if you listen to the show, as we talk, we may have our opinions, but we are open-minded enough to let you have that time. So if we offer you that time, it is a genuine and true offer. By all means, you should take it, because, again, you're not going to get that honesty, that truthfulness, and that open forum without some retaliation anyplace else.
There you go. Thank you for saying like that, Mika. Anyway, that's our show for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, we have a huge show. Super excited. Mika, wait until you have no idea who's going on next.
I never know what what's happening. I don't even know how I got here.
I'm going to go ahead and let you know who our guest is next week. All right? Next week, we are having the one, the only Georgia wrestling icon, Simon Sermon, will be our guest next week.
Wow. Okay.
Gay wrestler and professional wrestling. Simon Sermon will be our guest on the week, and we are talking about everything wrestling.
That's a blazer right there. Okay.
And then the week after that, we're having promoter Amy Haven will be a guest of the week.
Amy. Yeah. I love Amy from Pro South. Amy Haven is a legend to my heart, and a legend to anybody in the Southeast. If you don't know who the Havens are, for shame. Exciting.
Exactly. So that's what our upcoming weeks. And like I said, we still have other guests on the line and stuff. We still have invitations out there for people to come out, tell their side of the story. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our network, the Angry Marks Podcast Network, on behalf of our sponsors, Indie Customs, Behavior Driven and Pro Wrestling World, on behalf of our producer, the man, the myth, the legend, CW, on behalf of my co-host, the lover of waffles, the voice of speech impediment, the Aphrodite of affection, The Office, one half of the world's cutest commentary team, a member of the FOW podcast that I listen to each and every week. She is Miss Chicago Win, Miss Hashtag Bobby and Taco, a.k.a. What That Mouth Do, the receiver of all things unsolicited, the lover of Himalayan water blessed by Tibetan monks, Miss Mika Villas. I am your World Wrestling Grand Prix champion, the disrespectful intellectual, the Southern gentleman, the Mid-Atlantic bully, the incredible Hulk, Will Huckaby, saying peace out and support indie wrestling.
Bye-bye.